Hello everyone, my name is Clayton, and in Buddhism I'm going to talk about rites of passage. First there's initiation or ordination, and there are two levels. The lower level, the pabaja, which consists of renouncing secular life and acceptance in a monastic life as a novice. This can happen as early as 8, and it's considered a very high privilege to the parents. They want to receive the merit this act bestows upon them. So first off, the novice-to-be, or the shinran, recites the sacred formula, the 3 refuges, which is, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dhamma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. And the Sangha is the group of monks. And then they're also going to recite the 5 precepts. They're kind of like a way of life. The first 5, they must not take the life of any living creature, they must not steal anyone's possessions, they must not be involved in sexual misconduct, and they must not tell any lies, and they must not use any alcohol or misuse drugs. That sounds like a lot of fun. Having your boy go into this is considered the best religious inheritance for children from their parents. And they can do this any number of times, up until they're 20, where they go into the higher ordinance, which is the Upsampada. This is a full acceptance in the monastic life and into the monastic community. And this can only happen with the permission of the parents, because it's a very high privilege. The abbot, or the sayadaw, will choose a favorable day, which usually is around New Year's. So in preparation, the young novice will learn how to recite the 10 precepts, 5 in addition to the 5 that he did in the lower ordination. Second 5 are, I must not eat after midday, which is really important for them. I must not attend shows where there is music or dancing. I must not use any perfume or personal jewelry. I must not sleep on a raised or upholstered bed. And I must not accept gifts of gold or silver or money. He also has to learn how to recite his request for robes. On the day of ordination, there's this huge procession, and he's in very princely garb, and his parents are behind him, very proud, and so that the whole procession goes to the monastery, and there's a lavish feast and everyone eats. So after the feast, the boy will kneel in front of the abbot. The parents will be behind the boy with a white cloth, and the abbot will shave the boy's head as the hair falls into this white cloth the parents are holding. They catch it in order for the hair to be buried near a pagoda later. Now after his head is shaved, he will stand up and exchange his nice garb for the robes of a monk. And then after he changes, he kneels in front of the abbot and recites the 3 refuges and the 10 precepts. So then he makes his petition for acceptance to the monkhood, recites his request for robes, and then he is questioned in detail by the abbot in the presence of an average of about 10 monks. They'll ask him the name of the master he studied under, whether he is free of faults and defects that would prevent his admission, is diseased, is mutilated, or in debt, and if the abbot is satisfied, he will propose acceptance of the petition 3 times. If everyone's quiet and no monk says anything, it's a symbol of they accept him. And now, as being that he's done, everything's finished, and the son is actually considered on the highest echelon possible. Even the highest monks will bow down to this child in just this brief period. He is considered on top of everything. Monks use a special language which they use to talk to lay folk and when they talk to him. He is Koyin, and he is dressed as his parents as Dagaji and Dagamaji. The marriage in Buddhism is not really a religious thing. Monks only come to, say hey, and then they leave. And it's regarded as an opportunity for the couple to support each other in following the 5 precepts. It's often arranged by the parents of the couple as they're more experienced, and the parents are more experienced in life, and they are aware that the marriage joins 2 families. So, they have to take everything into account. It's not just letting the kids choose. The ceremony is usually held at home, where the couple promises to honor and respect each other. They may give each other rings. In some form of Buddhism, their right thumbs will be tied together. In some other forms, their right wrist will be tied together. Later, after the ceremony is over, the couple will go to the monastery to receive the monk's blessing and hear a sermon of the Buddha's teachings about married life. Married and they're happy, they may have a child. And upon birth, baby is at home, the monk visits the home, recites the parita, which is verses and scriptures for protection and safeguard against evil fortune or dangerous conditions. He sprinkles water over the baby and blesses it. Wax from a candle is dripped into a bowl of water, symbolizing the joining of the 4 elements: solid, liquid, heat, and movement. In turn, symbolizing the hope that the child will achieve harmonious life and eventually enlightenment. Because Buddhism spans many countries, and it's very diverse. The traditions vary. Buddhists either can be buried or cremated. You can imagine in Tibet, there's no wood, so I don't know how they would be cremated, so they bury them. As far as buried goes, at the place of burial, the monks will recite the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. Relatives symbolically give the monks a white cloth that covers the coffin. And then the mourners pour water into a cup until it overflows, symbolizing the transfer of merit to the deceased. For cremation, they believe that the body should not be disturbed for 3 days while the deceased travel between death and rebirth through the realms of either gods, animals, hungry ghosts, humans, or hell. And if they're cremated, several monks accompany the body to the cremation grounds reciting scriptures on the way. The person was thought to have reached enlightenment. The ashes will be kept and buried in a stupa. That's it.